name is Rafia Khan. I'm a microbiologist, studied in Bombay University, which is now Mumbai University. And I had a very good job here. We were very settled, but I had this passion and motivation that I want to save a life. And my job here was very routine and straight, where of course it was indirectly saving a life because I checked on medications which were given to the patients, but that was not enough for me. I had this wanderlust to go, and people went to America with a dream, and their dream was to become rich, make money, become famous. My dream was to save a life, and that's when I went to New York, and luckily I found a very nice job, a very nice boss, and I started work on immunology, immunogenetics, which involved transplantation of solid organs like kidneys, heart, and lungs. Eventually, it all evolved into bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow transplant is for patients who are diagnosed with leukemia and other fatal blood disorders. They have no other means of cure or treatment except to find a matching volunteer marrow donor where they could get a transplant and save a life. I worked at the best and famous hospital known as Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, and one day my life changed, my whole thinking changed. A young teenager walked into my office and smiling, I still remember his face, he said, "I want to live, Mrs. Khan. What can you do for me?" Oh my God. At this moment, I thought of this kid's mother. I'm a mother, and I know what mothers feel. Not only this mother, but I work with so many patients, and I have talked to all the mothers, and we have cried together, we have smiled together, and life goes on in whichever way God takes it. And this is where the concept came about, me starting an organization. We have the largest world registry in the US known as National Marrow Donor Program, and Be the Match. I connected with them, and they were very receptive as I connected them to the South Asian community. This is my connection. They did not know anything about the South Asian community, that we have got so many languages, so many religions, so many different beliefs, and I was familiar with everything, and I went with my organization, which I named SAMAR, South Asian Marrow Association of Recruiters. And at that time I was working with the South Asian community from all over our Indian continent. Now I'm working with all the ethnic diversity and the Caucasian people, and I now added a name to this, Swab to Cure All, because the test is done by swabbing the inside of your cheek from where we get the DNA to do the testing. Heritage plays a very important part. So if a patient is from the Indian, South Asian, Pakistani, Bangladesh community, the chance of finding a donor is from their own community. And I have done a lot of population genetics and have tried to help the patients to do drives in their own community. Every 3 minutes, somebody is diagnosed with leukemia or any other fatal blood disorder. Every 10 minutes, 6 people die. So these statistics are very scary, and this really made me work harder and harder, and I tried to help as many patients as I could. I have done about more than 4,000 events to register people in 41 states, and I have tried and saved the lives of at least 200 people and helped over 500 patients. They become a family to me because I talk to them. They understand my language. I understand what they go through, and I help them to talk to their physicians and find out more details of treatment. Well, I said I have to do this also in India. It's my India. I've been brought up here in Mumbai, and I connected with Tata Cancer Hospital, and that's when I initiated the idea of forming a registry over here, because if we have every 3 minutes somebody is diagnosed, I'm sure the statistics are very similar over here and they need help. So the Marrow Donor Registry of India, which is run in Bombay, was initiated by me. I'm in connection with them, and there are other registries that have started all over India, and I am always available to them for any advice that they need or any other thing that I can help them with. And I wish to continue this, and I have the satisfaction when I see that the patients have recovered and they have found a donor. I've had meetings, very emotional meetings, of a patient meeting his donor. For example, a young boy, a 9-year-old, he was saved by a police officer. That was my very first event that we had celebrated. It was so emotional that all the media and the TV stations just came. I was so surprised, and that same night the meeting was broadcast. Today this boy has gotten married. He is so happy, and we keep in connection, and he wrote a book about his story. I have another boy who met his donor, and this was a Patel to Patel. He's a Patel and his donor was a Patel, and they have become such good friends. And this kid has also grown up, and now he is doing research at Memorial Hospital on his own disease. And this makes me so proud because I am a scientist. I studied there in the US and got certificates and qualified to do a review of reports. I am still working for another hospital, major hospital, where I review and match patients with their donors. This is the greatest satisfaction I have.